What's up, everyone? We're live, and we're going to join an arena. And this time I thought, I have so many cool openings, but I would like to take your opening suggestions. So why don't we
10,
make that happen?
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
It's about to
3,
start.
2, 1, 0.
It's... Okay, we're playing number 2 in the arena in the first. Got an Alkine. And why don't we play a dummy Gambit? The worst Gambit on my channel. But it's also the most fun. Oh my god, he had King takes F7 pre-moved? This opening has gotten way too popular ever since I made that video. Unless he knows me. Okay, but he didn't know what to do after E6 check. There's only one way out. There's only one way out. Bishop takes, king back, king up. Be careful. Knight's coming in. There's only one way out. Let's see if they can find it. Bishop takes was not the way out. I'll go over it after. Okay, they're just playing king g8. They're just going to give me a slightly better position. King f6 to hang on to the bishop would have gotten checkmated. We'll sacrifice an additional piece. So I'll show all that after. Okay, but now we actually got an interesting position. This knight's going to be awesome. Should I put my queen on g4 or e2? Probably just e2, right? Why would I put myself in a pin? I feel like there is some appeal to that. But okay, we're just going to come here. Alright, this dude's going to be awesome. How are you going to get rid of him? How are you... I imagine that's going to come, right? Look how awesome he is. Have I mentioned? I don't think I have. Let's go d4 because he's awesome and protects it. Just right in your face. No light square bishops. Yeah, so okay, trying to trade off for the knight because he's awesome. I can dodge it. I get kicked around. I can take that. I can take that. We got a lot of choices here. Got a lot of choices. Knight can go pretty much anywhere. I want to make it as difficult for my opponent as possible. I do think, like, the bishop's going to come there and be, like, a pretty decent piece. All things considered. Might be worth taking it. Okay. Let's take him. Develop. Okay, we're just a little bit better. I wanted to play d5. Okay, so they play c6 to shut that out. Makes sense. But we're going to try to flex our development advantage a little bit. Bishop, I don't want to just get attacked by this guy. I want it to go long with my king. H4 or h3 seems a little appealing, honestly. Because the bishop has no super useful spots. Just castle. Honestly, that probably makes the most sense right now. To just kind of castle and go rook e1. I liked h4 or h3. It was not out of the question. Bishop e3 or queen to f3 check. Let's go. Let's go queen to f3 check. I don't want to just allow them to tuck their king back in to give an easy manual castle. Of course, I have no interest in trading queens. Their king is much less safe than mine. With queens off the board, it becomes very difficult to attack. What's up, everybody? Let's now shift across. Maybe g4 could be interesting. A lot of spots are interesting. think simply queen d3, knight e4, just protect this pawn. g4 maybe was a little bit better. Of course, again, I want to rook on the third rank. My next move is maybe knight e4. I like this idea of now pushing d5. Okay, let's just go here. We just want to develop. King f7 is what they want. I don't want to trade queens still. So let's make another dodge. What I really want after king f7 is f4. Finally, this rook will be useful. My issue in this position is the rooks have not done a lot. But f4, f5 seems like it's just going to be my next two moves. d5 made a lot of sense as, like, trying to open things up because my opponent's king was in a very bad spot. Okay, a lot of interesting spots for the rook. d1, e1... d1 for d5's sake. d5 was still playable. In fact, let's play f4 now. Trying to play f5. And we're going to get that knight out of the way, ideally. Let's just tuck you back in here. So now... takes. Let's play rook f3. Hard to move around a little bit. I'm low on time. I need some sort of opening around their king, right? g3 made some sense. c4, c5. Okay, let's go c4, try and play c5 and open things up. I think bishop b4, I might have missed that completely. That was suddenly became very soft after e6, which I understand e6 because they wanted to make that pawn a little more solid and try to stop f5 and d5, but I think there's going to be a big problem. c5 or bishop b4 is going to be a big problem here now that the pawn is not defending his friend. Okay, that's a sensible choice, but they are now really bundling up. Moving backwards. Hard to say where I break through. It's pretty solid. So they just try to move around a little bit. Maybe f5? f2 and f5, potentially. I've done a good job not letting them off the hook. Oh, c5 last... This is not smart what they're doing. They're opening things up. In fact, I should have just taken there and opened this d-file. Could have been very strong. I was just focused on this one idea. But, yeah, not smart of them to open this. I'm already threatening to take it. Bishop e5, lots of juice now that this is open. And hard to deal with if you're black. Whoa. Okay. Now we just need a not flag. Let's stack further on this D line. Rook D2 is probably better, honestly. This wins immediately. Attacking the rook in this. There's no queen F2 because of this. So, check. I believe. Takes. Oh! Not takes. No, what am I doing? Oh my goodness. I hung my queen. Okay. Not great. I didn't even see rook takes c4 doesn't win immediately, so I should have led with... Oh man, oh man, oh man. That... Okay. Oh, sorry. Hope you guys are back. Alright, let's rejoin that arena. Didn't really get much of a chance to analyze that, but Yeah, unfortunately we lost that at the end. Unfortunately we lost that one at the end. It's berserk. Okay. Okay. Hopefully we can get the awesome Bushgas Gambit line. What's up, Yi, Shite? Ramon, sorry stream cut out before. Unfortunately, we got Bushgas declined here. That's okay. Someday they'll start taking the pawn. It's very fun, those lines. This is just not really playable. Can't really call it a gambit. I just kind of have 3 attackers there against only 2 defenders. Whoa. This is a very generous definition of the word gambit. Yeah, last one got away from me there. Yeah, it was poor time management on my part. Chess is hard. Chess is indeed difficult. Okay, h6. Maybe g5 will still castle long, even though we're really a clean piece ahead. Then e5 here. It's just bishop e2. We're just gonna trade some stuff. Okay. When I throw this in, pawn takes and rook g8 doesn't really get me very far. Although it's always fun. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure what the logic is here. I mean, there's so many moves that win. Bishop e6 is just winning a piece. Not to mention all the hits here. I could just play c6. I am at a loss. I don't know what's happening. What's up, Mirko from Edmonton? Awesome. Oh, Canada, baby. So, if you guys have openings that you want me to play as my opponent resigns, comment them, and I'll try to play them. For example, if you want me to play an alphabet gambit. a6, oh, g3. Okay, that's actually a good way to counter b5. Just take this whole diagonal. We can justify a6. I'll show you how. Let me play... Okay, let me play d6, actually. I was going to put the bishop right there, but with this pawn on e3, it's not particularly useful there. Let's attack c4. Let's play queen d7 to prepare bishop h3, so we don't get forked. Against that, we have a good response. Let us castle long. What I want you to do is castle short. No. Go over there. Pretty please. Thank you. Now I will play h5, h4. The thing about the knight on e2 is that it guards very well against the other idea against the fianchetto, the other way to hit that pawn, which is f5, f4, right? That I can't really play if there's so many attackers right there. But the knight on f3, on the other hand, I don't even have to recapture this. I can just proceed with my evil plan. But knight takes e5, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Potentially knight f4. Let's continue with my evil plan. Anyway, like I was saying, with the knight on e2, it does not stop h5, h4, like a knight on f3 would. It would guard h4 and would guard h2, and now you're going to see why I am talking about h2 as we prepare for a flurry of trades. Just recently subbed to the channel, loving the content, hope you have a good stream. Oh, thank you. I'm so happy you love it. Can I play the Mora Gambit, please? Sure. Like the Smith Mora? Like against the Sicilian? Sure. Let's go takes, and queen h3 check, and takes. The king will be able to run to e1. But yeah, this is what, like, a knight in f3, like, okay, this is a big breakthrough, right? I was able to play h5, h4, get the pawn out of the way for the rook to guard, and then I was able to also trade these light square bishops so that the queen can now pour in with everything we dreamed of here to attack this poor king. With a knight on f3, now I actually have had the option for a while of knight takes or pawn takes. Let's choose pawn takes now that this is unveiled. Knight f3 would have guarded h2. I keep cutting myself off. Would have guarded h2. So at least, like, in this position... Okay, I haven't totally broken through. I can try to get rid of that knight, of course. I like how I got rid of the bishop and other important defenders. Queen c2. So we got a couple our ideas here, like some knight b4. Oh, knight b4, knight d3 is brutal. I was going to say bishop b4, bishop d2. Potentially they can guard everything. I think this is just going to be extremely strong with the knight jumping right in there. Yeah, this knight actually is doing a pretty good job, like, guarding this guy. Rook d3 is fun, but I think knight d3 just wins. So king d2 wins the... Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of good moves here, like knight f4 check and take e2. This just wins the queen, for instance. Knight f4 check might have just won the king. I can do it now, even. I'll take the queen. Yum. What do we got? Check, takes... I don't know. Yum. Yum. 10 seconds is a lot more than people think it to be. On the beat, bro. I'll catch you. It's running away. He's running all the way down there. Okay, GG. Nice. Yeah, that was fun. So basically, like, the knight came to e2 there, right? And so I went with h5, h4 to attack the fianchetto and just crashed through on the h-file. So what's up? I've been reading Mayhem in the Mora, and that opening is wild. Awesome. Let's do that for you. Let's do that for you. Will I bless you with the England Charlotte Gambit? Type the moves, guys. I'm not so good with opening names, believe it or not. So, but if you type the moves for me, that would be helpful. Can I play the Halloween Gambit? That one I know. Oh, I should have actually played knight c3. Sorry, I just read that after I played d4. I guess it's still possible. What's this? Yeah, check. It can just parry you away. In fact, even like b4, b5 here seems fun. Just chase the knight away and really take that pawn very, very, very cleanly. Very, very, very cleanly. I don't even know how it's possible to take it any cleaner. They call me Mr. Clean for how I take pawns. Mustard on the beat, bro. Oh, can I do a little tricky trick? Try and trap the bishop? Probably just c... Well, the thing about c6 to create a square is... So, I mean, you should play a6. So that here... Well, now I'm just going to trap you. Been watching your chess boxing arc. Thank you so much. I owe you guys more content. I have a lot of footage, actually, of, like, my sparring and everything. And my trainings. And other fun stuff. Well, that actually just loses the knight. This would ordinarily be check, and I would lose the bishop. But when it's not check, everything changes. I would just take the queen. GG. So, yeah, I'm really excited about that. That's my next big goal. We got a big event coming up in a month. A big, everybody's coming together for that. But I love it. It is super cool. It is super duper cool stuff. C6. Anything you guys want against the Caro other than the Von Hennig? Comment quick. What do we got? I'll play Von Hennig again. Fantasy. It's too slow. I just saw it. How do I do it? I would need to get them to take. I can transpose by playing like F3, but they won't just take for fun. They won't just take for fun. Play like H3 against Bishop G4. I know that's like their big idea. Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. Tennyson. I've heard of that, but again, I don't know the moves. What should I do here? Just like bishop out? I don't know. Maybe if takes then I'll play F3. I'll still play Gambit. Yeah, okay. Why don't we still play Gambit? I mean, A takes E4, obviously better, but... does this make any sense? What if I just take it? Let's go long. H3, G4. Get out of the way, please. I guess this is going to be annoying, so let's do this so I don't have to defend that. There we go, no pin. And potentially H5 or 4H5, although I did kind of give them that square. C takes... maybe helps their position. E takes. Press X to doubt. Yeah, I want to send these guys. I can gambit you. Take it. I'll go knife 3 with tempo. Okay. A G5, can I trap this dude? Can I trap this dude? Yeah, don't even call it a gambit. This was just a trap. It was a trick. Call Admiral Akbar. G5, no way out. Bishop G3 or H3. You're gone. G3, even cleaner is an 82. So clean. So fresh. Got him. Yum. Alright, now castle so that I can, thank you, get rid of the bishop and checkmate you. E6. Strong. Although, wholly unnecessary. I guess I left that undefended, but does it matter? Takes. Give me 1. F takes. I should have included this. Just defending you for taking. I mean, this was probably just good. A7. This is fine. I mean, that wasn't even under attack. Now we're getting rid of this to get this. Should be good. 6. That's Easiest way to mate. Yum. Bishop B6. Oh, they resigned. Okay, well, I mean, they were just stepping into this. Yeah, I think here, this was very greedy with their king still in the middle and everything. Could have been okay if they got their king away and, like, got the bishop to e4. Didn't react too much. But, yeah, with this, I mean, I was just opening all the files onto their king. And the bishop was just the last thing between me and checkmate. With these pawns not in the way, it's even better. Pawns not in the way, it is even better. What's up, Yan Yan? Can run. Grace, thank you so much. Good luck chess boxing. Instead of ex5, was queen takes d5 scary? No, because I actually had bishop g2 in that position. My queen on d2 defended the bishop on g2. So... Oh, unless a2 was hit. Was my king castled? Queen takes d5. Did it attack my rook and a2? So then yes. What's up, Flan Master? Do I have the chat box on? It's enabled. Should be up. e4. I've got a challenge to play 1 f4. Okay, you got it. Oh, I'm playing a strong player, 24-28. Probably named Joseph, who accepted the Bushgas Gambit. Let's go. Gambit glass is on. Okay, not giving me the d takes c6 Stafford capture to open up the bishop and the queen. That's okay. We'll open it ourselves. d4 is just not a great move, owing to takes e4. Check first is also an option, I think, but just takes e4 is very good. This is good for black, as I understand it. The resulting endgame. That's interesting. Was it bishop b4 check first? Because I feel like if they just took... Was I just down a pawn? Okay, I have to deal with this. Probably bishop g4 makes a lot of sense. Because, yeah, they have to get out the way. So now we can long castle very nicely. Very, very nicely. I guess they have takes and, like, check. If I go knight f6 takes, and then, like, 84 could be fun. Takes and check is pretty good option. Okay. It's worth hanging on to this pawn. Knight d2. They're trying to, like, make me help them. I don't want to help them. Knight d4. Again, it's the same idea, though. Like, they can trade everything. And then go bishop h3. Because knight d4, c3, knight 2. Take f3. That's kind of more in line with what I'm looking for. I don't want to just take it. I could. It's not really a gambit here. We're actually completely even on pawns. c3, I can drop back here. I think still gf3 is playable. I'm just trying to not help them with the bishop development. I think it was smart of them to not push g3, actually. And trying to make a trade beneficial for them here. I think if I were white, I would make this big trade. Play bishop h3. Takes... Yeah, this is what I was saying, right? Knight takes f3. Okay, they go for this with check. So an interesting position. I think white is totally fine. I think probably something... I could go knight e7 just because they can't take the knight. I'm not sure there's any specific purpose to that. So they got the bishop pair. In exchange, I have a better pawn majority than them, probably. But honestly, I'd probably rather be white here. I'd rather be white. Unless I can do something quick. Not really. Rook e8, take. Can be 2, rook e2, rook d1. It's potentially dangerous. d5, bishop g3, h5. Seems the most annoying way forward is this. Right before they can get everybody out. Like, yeah, I could just play rook e8 and trade a bunch of rooks. I'm going to try to utilize my pawn majority. So if bishop g3, which is what I'm mostly expecting, then h5 I wanted to play. Bishop h4, f6. And really my plan is actually to harass this bishop. Can kind of run it out of squares. I want to make you go back here, because that's where your king wants to go, right? And then I'll drop in a4. So bishop d2 is pretty logical. However, if that happens, then rook e8, king b2, it's actually probably okay. Bishop d2. I don't have anything sensational. Okay. They were listening to me, maybe. H6. Rook e8, king b2. Nothing there, really. Try to get cracking with this majority, like h6, g5, g4. Get cracking with the majority. See what they can do. So c4 is just going to come back. But yeah, they have a good bishop pair here. I mean, the position's open, so the bishops should be good. They should. Not really giving them a good square to invade on. Or potentially should have done this with f6 instead of h6. Rook e5, f6, rook f5, g4, right? Bishop f1, 87, they would lose material. Here, and I have 6, bishop c3 they can play, right? So, I mean, I can go to, like, some creative square. But bishop c3 is annoying. This is interesting, g4 first. Although it might just take away my best square. Potentially I should just go knight f4. Alright, let's go here, bishop c3. Okay, bishop f6. Yeah, I should just go here. Should just go here. Isn't really what I wanted. Okay. Hopefully we can use the e7, g2. e7 or g2. e1 I would take f2. Yeah, we're gonna try to come in on g2. But I think rook e7 is a good move for white, and they're doing well. Bishop d7 was very clever, because it gave them the e7 square. Okay, no more back rank. Stop trying to back rank, checkmate me. I'm not sure rook g1 was so clever. I think they just should have come in. They were scared of my rook g2, but I think it was fine for them. Rook g7, I was going to go bishop h5. And try to invade with my rook. Ah, they're trying to stop all that. Oh my god. Not smart. Not smart at all. Yeah, I think... it's probably already better for white. Not really clear how either side wins unless they're winning some pawns, because there's no passed pawn here. I think after just bishop g4, potentially bishop e2, I think makes a lot of sense. Check. I think white's doing better. But, okay. Not the best. Let's play faster for real. Why is bro always in time trouble? Yeah, because I play too slow, right? I play too slow. Rough. Spent too long there on unimportant decisions. Okay, guys. Twangon, Montenegrin defense. Please write the moves. Write the moves that you want. There's a lot of opening names out there. I really don't know most of them. No Twangon on Eco? Well, there's not a lot of the gambits that I play on Eco either. Alright. What are the requests we have so far? Would I ever play any of these gambits in a classical game? Okay, wait, I got a Halloween request, right? So if knight c6, I'll play knight c3. Okay, wait, this lends itself even more to a Halloween. Do this. Knight c6. Let's go. Let's go. That's actually one I do know by name. We're just gonna sacrifice all this for a big center to keep attacking these knights. Now I do know that like your total, like if you just want to go here and give the piece back, you can. But if you want to play knight g8, we'll have some fun. Okay, queen e7. I guess I'll just break this pin. It looks potentially more dangerous now. Like, what if I go here and here? Bishop g5, d6, knight d5. Ooh, knight d5. Spooky. Can I use that word to describe this? I guess knight takes e5, knight d5. Queen d6, d5. Must have on the beat, bro. I can't allow that. I guess bishop e2. This is actually what I'm most afraid of. Okay, only 10 more Halloween jokes incoming. And I'll be about as good as that one was. I guess I should play queen e2 if I don't want knight takes e5, right? It's okay, we'll go long. Gambit glasses are on for the Halloween. What's up, Highly Cruciferous? Tell me what I missed. Should play the Yang Yang Gambit. That is a great suggestion. I already got a request for Amora. Okay, wait, we have knight g8. We have knight g8. They're not... Okay. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Wow. Where do I even begin? H4? F4? Let's begin with H4. Knight d5, obviously, but okay. This is awesome. This is everything that I wanted. I got them going backwards. Alright, so if you take it, I'm playing knight d5. Okay, so many options. Now my bishop can come here. If I play knight d5, attacking c7, right? Queen d8. If I follow with bishop g5, then, like, knight e7. And then where's the KO there? I could try to play, like... Or they could play, like, bishop e7 in that position instead. Okay. Should I start with this? f6, and then knight d5. Yeah. So let's go bishop g5, queen b4. I'm just going to castle long. Queen b4 just castles long. We're good. Get out of the pin. This, I think, is going to be very dangerous for them. I think we might have got him already. Halloween OP. Well, first of all, queen e4, I don't know what you do about this knight. I don't know how you defend that knight. Because, yeah, everything I can think of is bad. Everything I can think of is bad. But this is even stronger, right? Queen d8, only way to defend c7, and then takes, and I take the e-file. Man, it's not like they had a ton of good options. They didn't have any good development. Queen e4... Well, queen e4, okay, takes. They could have played, right? So I definitely made the right decision. Knight d5. I love how we included h4, h5. Like, we included h4 just because h5 was so strong, so we got those moves in, and then we took advantage of that. Whoa, talk about desperado. Okay. It has not solved any of your problems. In fact, the bishop was a piece that was en pris. I can play knight takes and shit takes. Should I play knight takes? Should I just take it? King f7? Queen c4? Guys, this is kind of the greatest opening ever. My opponent is 1928 also. Like, not a bad player. But, wow. Long live the Halloween Gambit, dude. Oh, wait. I can just trap the queen. I can just straight up trap the queen. This is the scariest opening of all time. Oh, no, he has queen gate. Oh, no, don't trade queens with me. Okay. Dude, I literally, ever since the night I gave up, they've not taken a single piece of mine. In fact, even this pawn's still on the board. They're about to take it. Now knight c7, though. Or queen c4. Queen c4 is stronger, right? Because knight c7, queen d8, queen c4, I guess they have d5. This is like... Now takes, knight c7 wins the queen. There's no queen e6, the knight will control it. Run. Can move. What do we got? Bishop or rook or other rook. Rook h3. Bishop e2. Queen b3 takes in bishop c4. Seems like a lot of fun. Let's go a g3. I like this move g3. Takes bishop h3. I guess it's queen c6, right? Okay, let's castle. And now... don't flag me. Let's bring him out. So we're down material again, which is right where we should be. Boom. Pin. Boom. Now we're using multiple pins. If you take that, then I open the other one. It was very difficult to defend. I do think I misplayed that a little bit. But this is fun. Everybody's being useful here. Well, maybe other than these two. But yeah, you take it. Oh, okay, that's creative. I'll just stay on this. But yeah, okay, maybe you can throw in a bishop b7 now. I wanted that square. I don't get it anymore. I could have just taken it. No, it takes. Alright, we'll just eat this. guess they have check. Ooh, yum. Oh, wait. Takes. Can I make a knight on h8? Oh, wait. If it takes would have been a good move to get out of check, right? Alright, queen e1, we gotta come back. That's pretty funny. Alright, we got the king very, very torn open here. Rook g5 incoming. Or queen c3 or some other stuff. I think we can even checkmate with rook g5. We can even trade queens, check, check, and mate the king on h7. Yeah. Like so. Oh wait, they have rook takes e6, so if they go to h6, that's a little bit more precise. Okay, wait. I should have gone here. Okay, it's fine. We still got it. And now they have to step into the discovered check. Yum. Ah. Get back. Okay. GG. Yeah, that was a fun one. That was a fun one with the Halloween Gambit. My first rodeo with it. I didn't realize it was minus 2.2. That's way worse than I thought. That's way worse than I thought. That's literally more than a knight for a pawn should only be minus 2. So it's like black's position is better on top of that, apparently. Why can't I move? d4. What is the brilliant move here? Knight g8. Okay, my opponent put their queen on e7, which I understand makes things a little more difficult because the queen leaves home, and the defense of c7 also becomes an issue. But okay, I mean the eval is coming down. Stockfish just hates sacrificing material. I think this is fun. I think this is fun. Yeah, just take on e5 out of a 4 knights and just go d4 and run them over. I think like a really easy way to deal with this if you wanted is like just bishop b4, just give the knight. Okay, I mean it's just equal actually. So don't be that guy. I don't know. Hang on to your material. Knight g6, we played e5. And, okay, deflected the pin with queen e2. Yeah, okay, bishop e2 is the best move, but it gave knight takes e5, I thought, as a solid option here. And clearing my big bad pawns. So queen e2, I didn't want to give that as an option. So they retreat back knight g8, right? They have no... The key is they have no squares for their knight, right? I take away all these options. The knight has no other squares other than coming back to g8. And, yeah, I really like this next move because... Okay, like, I can just play, like, bishop d2 in castles, but if I give them some time, they're going to play d6, they're going to try trade, they're going to get their king out of the middle, right? And I would just kind of be down a piece if they're able to get their pieces out. But right now, I feel like I'm up material because their king's in the middle, and also all these pieces are so bad and so far from development. So we got to strike quick, and h4 does that because it threatens, again, to trap the knights. The pawns continue to harass the knights. And knight takes h4, yeah, knight d5, the queen's duties are now split kind of all over the place, and just rook takes h4 here, and I would win the rook. And I'd win a knight in that whole exchange. So that's not really possible. So it obliges h5, but now with the pawn on h4, it likes this move g3. I guess the bishop can snipe from there or there. I like this, what I did here, though, bishop g5, hitting the queen, right? So using the fact that I just played h4, using this new square on g5. If I start with knight d5, then I feel like it looks appealing, like, yeah, that's the best square for the knight, that's the best square for the bishop, let's just put him there. But after bishop e7, like, you might just find yourself just trading off some dudes. And if you trade off dudes, then d6. Okay, like, eventually, it's still not obvious, but eventually they should be able to get their king out of the middle, and then maybe just be up a piece. So we want to really make sure, these are very important moves, we want to really make sure we take advantage of that. So bishop g5 first really does that. So they don't have an opportunity to block with development. They don't have an opportunity to do anything they want to do, really, here. And now defending c7 becomes a total nightmare. So, like you see here, like queen e6, I was considering that during the game, but yeah, knight b5. So yeah, potentially they can check and come around. But still, okay, I'm going to castle, I'm going to try to play d5, I'll put my bishop on h3. Like, I'm going to just keep, like, boom, just right in your face, everything forward. This move was queen b4. Looked like it might have made some sense, but yeah, castles just get out of the pin here, defend b2, and now, yeah, knight d5 looks really strong attacking here and here. Or knight b5, something like that. But yeah, the pawns are just going to go forward, f4, f5, d5. Like, eventually, like, I'll just crash through, trade some dudes off. And just get this king in the middle, this poor king right in the middle, right where he is. And yeah, I love that we force these moves to be included. Huge advantage here. Bishop cannot be kicked out. In the game, f6 was just a disaster because knight d5 just kills them. The threats on c7, they got to go, well, queen d8 here. I mean, it wouldn't have really helped, like, takes, and now... Did I miss this during the game? Oh, that's why they included knight f4. Because my bishop was on f4 instead of on g5. This would have been even better. My bishop defended here, attacking the queen, and then ready to just take everything on h8. So, okay, the inclusion of knight f4 actually makes a little bit of sense when you really think about it. Because, it counterattacks my queen. If I take here, then I lose the threat. So I play your bishop takes f4. At least now in this position, I can't just take g7 attacking the queen. Here, I think I misplayed it somehow. I played here bishop takes c7. Or maybe I didn't even. I don't know. It likes everything here. This is all +6. Bishop e5. I mean, I'm not even down any material, and look at their position, right? So in the game, takes. Like, everything's good here. Just queen c4 seems fun. Castle seems fun. We sacrifice our piece back. Okay, apparently this move is very bad. I just should have taken on e5. I'm not sure what the great move was. Oh, it was e4. e4 is a really nice one, because it actually just takes away rook f3 and takes away pawn trades, right? Pawn trades are what we need to open dudes up. And, I mean, okay, I still have this nice idea of trying to put the bishop on c4. So, for example, if they take my knight, they'd lose the queen immediately. And putting the bishop on c4 obviously makes a lot of sense for that guy. But rook h3, okay. Yeah, e4 makes a lot of sense because you see here the rook comes to f3, and then this pawn trade becomes very, very good for me. I attack this knight with the pin, and yeah, their king is very, very poorly placed. They got a couple pieces off the back rank, but that doesn't mean they got their king, like, to h8 or anywhere safe on the board. And takes e5, yeah, so if queen takes e5, now this becomes check. So this becomes really strong here. b5 is a nice try, but I just kind of take some dudes. Okay, I missed a quicker checkmate. Eventually we got him. Their king was tied down to the back rank, and so I forced them here to h7. Rook e6 check, take the rook. But I like the Halloween Gambit. Why don't... Yeah, let's it's fun stuff. d4, e5. I like this idea to castle long, specifically, like here. Like, I don't know, if you gave me this position, I'd probably just play h4. Okay, it's saying, like, yeah, because takes is bad. Yeah, I'll sacrifice another guy. Come out. Queen g4, attack this. Bishop g5, I'd follow that up with. Like, in this position, I'd castle. Seems fun. Yeah, because I want them to play h5. And now I feel like this is a useful inclusion. Maybe there's a lot of pressure I could put there. So, yeah, I like this a lot. Thanks for recommending the Halloween Gambit. Alright, next one. Subscribe if that one's on YouTube. Alright, next recommendations. What did I miss in the chat? What is going on? Alright, if you guys have more... Oh, the tournament pairings are now closed. Oh well. If you guys have more openings and gambits you'd like to see, comment below. Let's join a new arena. We have a 3+2. That could be good just because it's increment. Let me edit my stream. Oh wait, I'm on screen share right now. I'm gonna go to just window capture maybe. Whoa. Latvian, we can do that. That's actually that's a fun suggestion. Okay. I see Naroditsky's playing. There we go. Let me do one thing while we wait for... You can leave that on. I would like to put leechess.org in the stream description so that Leechess suggests it. On leechess.org. Okay. I'm not really sure what happened there. It's a lot to read. Hope everything's good. Elephant Gambit the way Jonathan Schrantz plays it. The elephant is... Oh, d5 on the second move. Okay, so we have... Well, f5 on the second move, d5 on the second move. So we're putting the bush gas a little bit on the back burner. I'll try a Latvian, and I'll try an elephant. e4, e5, f4, d5, d4. I'll do that. Alright, I'll play King's Gambit as well. This is Naroditsky, yeah. We're just waiting. I'll leave this up. I need to run to the bathroom, and I'm going to grab water. I'll be back in a minute for the arena to start. Stay tuned. Keep writing what you want me to play. What's up? Oh, okay, wait. Let's catch this arena. 3-2. Oh, okay, we just missed that first game. Which kind of sucks. Now we gotta wait. Okay, oh well. Yes, Naroditsky is Rebecca Harris, which I've always thought was an amusing username that I don't quite understand. It is Danya. I'm not him, though, unfortunately. You can probably go to his channel. I assume maybe he's streaming. I am a big fan of his. I think he is probably the best educational YouTuber out there. I really like the way he explains stuff. I recommend everyone at all levels to watch him, really. Okay, I finally have the League Rafe is streaming thing. Let's play here, knight f6. c4. Let's play our Grafe Banco against Like Brando. It's kind of unfortunate, knight f3, because I want... b5 now can be ignored without any b4 to distract a knight over here. Play this with e6, see what's going on. a6 is a useful move, though, in all cases. Okay, oh, they're just a Catalan player. b5 can be annoying against Catalan players, honestly. Like, you can play this with d5. This is going to transpose into some pretty common stuff. This, I feel like it's pretty annoying, and I'll just give it a shot. I don't really have any preparation here. Feels like not a good move on their part. Play bishop b7. I mean, it's fine. I'm not sure if I can actually take advantage of it. c5 or something like this. c5 feels like a good move. As long as d5 is not an answer to c5, it's worth playing. Is it an answer? Takes knight move somewhere, introducing this pin. I feel like it's risky. Knight like h4. Just because of that pin, and then trying to play cd5. Okay, they played this. cd4, knight c6. Feels pretty nice. Takes, queen b6. Takes and queen b6 is an option, of course. Okay, let's play takes. Asking questions about how you want to recapture. This feels like not ideal for how a Catalan player would have wanted this to go, because now, like, yeah, that pawn on c4 is going to be weak. Unless you want to give me that. I don't think you do. You want to move that back. No, I would take c4. Maybe an a4. Alright, let's include this. Trying to take advantage of their lack of development here. Knight a5. I mean, I can just go checking castles, but I like this idea. Can I mean, they can't really gambit it because it comes with a good tempo. Knight d2 is playable. Probably should have just considered that. Knight d2 is very playable. B8 or queen b6. I mean, rook b8 is really nothing special. Continue to add pressure. Just kind of want to see what they do about it. Do they want to castle and give me it? RxC1 instead. Now if I play queen b6, how would you respond? Just continuing to ask questions. I'm considering mixing that in somehow. I think what they've been playing is pretty reasonable, but pretty defensive. Haven't really called me out on anything. And I'm kind of pushing the envelope. I could just accept, like, probably a slightly better position by just going bishop e7. It's not really my style. Queen takes d4 would be fun here, but it's not really a move. Alright, let's just play bishop c5. Yeah, bishop c5. I guess rook b1. No, that's fine. Alright, bishop c5 and queen takes. Still feels like a trade that I wanted to make. Rook b1, queen a7 would be the same. My knight will defend there, so it's fine. Knight b3, I will play queen a3, so let's just castle. This feels good. Now there's a lot of pressure there. I'm kind of happy to have traded the dark square bishops, honestly. At least I'm okay with it. And I'd still love to make that trade. Alright, queen a3 is a good spot. Not giving them a takes b3 and helping them defend their own pawns. So we make this trade and continue to probe these weaknesses. And next, I'm probably just rook c7, rook here. Just very simply. Fortify d7 and b7 in the process, and we'll bring our last piece into the game, and we focus on the weaknesses that we created in our opponent's camp. And honestly, everything's going pretty well here. Rook b8 is interesting, but I will play rook c7 just to keep it simple. Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of like knight e4 and hopping around, bishop e4. But let's just bring in our last piece. Again, right? Like with a dark square bishop here, they could have attacked a lot of things and caused some problems for me. Alas, they don't have one. And my next move is probably just d5 and take, because of the pin I will create. d5 or bishop d5. Maybe I'll play h6 just so I don't have to deal with any of that. I'm not sure they have an easy way out here. I'm just kind of attacking lots of weaknesses. Just putting pressure on these weaknesses. And so now, for example, bishop e4 seems simple. Because rook takes c4, b7 was going to hang. I understand they wanted to guard their rook. So they wanted to not make this pin. And honestly, it feels like these pieces are out of the game. Like, the knight can move and just trade itself off. Like, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I'll just play h6 while I think about what to do. Rook b7 is also a good move here. But I'll play h6. This pawn was just straight up hanging, but no, it wasn't, because there was queen b8 checkmate at the end. Now it's hanging. Now I can take it. And again, like rook d4 or something to defend it, I will play d5. Taking advantage of the pressure I have here. So suddenly this pressure has mounted. I might even say it's hit a boiling point of sorts. Okay, let's trade. Do I have anything creative? I think last turn rook b7 could have been smart, trying to get the queen away from here. This was a good move on their part. If I play here d5 takes... That could be winning. This could be winning. So I'm looking at the line takes. Trying to take advantage of the fact that this is going to be check. Forcing knight f3 back. Then we trade on c1, and I would take a2 at the end of that. So otherwise, I'm just threatening to just eat c4. I think they should go for this line. They're just going to run out of time, unfortunately. Oh, no, it's 3 plus 2, right? It's 3 plus 2. Okay, that's good. We'll get some quality chess. 3 plus 2. So they're not just going to flag. Yeah, so now the fact that I've included this is very useful. Can I just take a2? Yeah, probably. Why not? Any reason why not? No. Again, I'm not getting checkmated in any line here. Yum. Nom 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 nom. Knight d5 is playable. The rook guards f7. But I'm honestly feeling good about everything here. Let's just keep pushing. And keep pushing. And I'll slide out the way. Yum. Okay, we're still gonna play it. That's fine. Seems fun. Take that. Excuse me. Good check. Do it. Oh. Alright, wait. Let's have a look at this game. I think this was actually a really quality game. Gambit Man played a good chess game? Gambit Man played a quality chess game? Can you believe it? Oh my god. Oh, wait. Oh, it started at 100%, but it was still calculating. Okay, it's at 99. Wait. Can you guys see this? Ah. It's at... Wait, this might have been the best game I ever played. Wait. Look at this. Look at this. What? Are you kidding? That was... And I probably only lost some of that just like at the very end when we were just kind of like moving around. Guys, this is... What in the world? I lost some of that also in the opening. Because I actually made no mistakes in a blitz game? Wait, that's kind of awesome. Okay, let's have a look. I think this was actually... And it's not only that, but it was actually like I played a good opponent. Opponent's 2100, and I think there's actually some instructive points here. Like, you see me just attacking the king, attacking the king, attacking the king, which is, like, super fun and, like, the best way to play, but it's not always possible. Like, my opponent was a Catalan player. There's no opening that's, like, more safe for the king than the Catalan. It's just, like, same side castles, just queen pawns. A lot of subtlety in the position. Okay, to be very good, you're not always just going to be able to attack the king. We gotta have, like, the finer points here, right? And so what we did was we focused on weak pawns. So that started out, and this is actually totally valid. So let me talk about the fun of playing a6, and specifically like this position, like the Gambit stuff, and like the super fun stuff that's not just about, you know, weak pawns, but at the end, and like what we're actually going for with a6. My opponent just plays here knight f3, and delaying b5 is very important, because if I play b5 right away, then the bishop can actually just develop straight, right? Just along that diagonal. So for example, here e3, and just a simple recapture on c4. This is very, very pleasant for white. Okay, like you can play your d5, but here, I mean, this is totally fine for white. They just castle and they develop normally. But we play your e6, and b5 doesn't make any... The point of b5, right, like the reason why it would have been good is if there were a knight on c3, that we can either A, chase to b5, which is very, very fun, and I'll show you that at the end of the video. But playing b4 here, there's no knight. There's no knight to attack. And just making this trade doesn't really do too much. You've also just kind of played a6, which doesn't have a lot of sense to it. So, not really the point. However, when they play g3 and commit the bishop that way, right? You're not going to want to play bishop takes c4 after g3. Now I'm playing b... Pretend I didn't just hit the down arrow key. Now I'm playing b5, and they've got kind of a tough decision to make. It's not obvious. b3 that they played was actually totally fine. I was kind of mean to them during the game. But it's totally fine here. Not obvious what to do with this. How do you recapture if not using your bishop, right? Bishop g2, I'm not going to let you just get me here, right? I'll challenge that with bishop b7. Okay, and it's just delaying the decision. If you take, then that actually is a really nice trade for me. I've just traded your c-pawn for the a-pawn. I opened my rook here. Knight c3 at any moment, I'll chase you away, which is always really fun to do. Now the knight has no good squares to go to. It's probably just got to go back home. And this is a great trade, because I've just taken more control of the center. I've opened the A file for myself, and so the pawn b5 is doing great. So my opponent tries to keep their nice c4 pawn, like they do in the Catalan b3, right? So they can keep the c4 pawn because the bishop is actually operating, you know, the Catalan bishop is operating on that diagonal. But the other nice thing here about a6 and b5 is that I've actually am able to challenge this diagonal. And you saw in the game that they didn't move any of these pieces because they didn't want these bishops to trade off. They didn't want these bishops to trade off until much, much later in the game. And it really just froze them, right? It's not like I was just going to cede that diagonal. For example, though, if I were to just kind of play bishop e7 and castles, and now like knight e5 comes, attacking the rook, right? The bishop has a lot of targets that it can operate on and would be very strong. But not in the case where I'm able to get my bishop onto b7, because, you know, it has no future this way with the light square pawns here. And now we're able to challenge that successfully. And we're also able to do a couple other things. So this position should just be really equal if I were to just play bishop e7 and castles, which would be fine. You know, they would develop pretty normally too. They would play knight bd2, bishop b2, right? As the, you know, this pawn structure lends itself to do. Castles, and maybe eventually try to play for e4 and d5 and try and take a big center. What I'm focused on is the fact that after this trade happens, and I'm not doing it quite yet because I don't want like this bishop to be attacked. It kind of like is a fianchetto without the shield part of the fianchetto. So, but and I can do it whenever I want. It's not like c takes b5 is going to happen. This is not a trade they want to make. Is I'm realizing that after this trade happens, that pawn can be very weak. There's no fellow pawn to defend him. And so that's what we call a backward pawn, right? So that's exactly what happened in the game here. c5 I play now, and of course I haven't moved the bishop yet, so I'm very happy to move him in one go for the bishop takes c5 recapture. Now, my chief concern in this position was d5, as I was talking about during the game. I don't know if it's totally playable. Yeah, takes. Okay, they can maybe even just play c takes and gambit a pawn. I was thinking knight h4 here, potentially attacking here. But yeah, this position's maybe quite nice. Here, they just take back. Oh, queen e5 is a tricky move. Attacks the rook. It's always when you start a fianchetto. This is another thing I like to talk about a lot. When you start a fianchetto, like with b3 here, and you don't fill it in, there's a huge weakness on that diagonal, right? Like if I can just like put a bishop or queen on this diagonal, it's brutal. You can't just play bishop b2. I would just take it, right? So this idea, it's actually pretty nasty of queen c7, queen e5, attacking this. Yeah, no real way to deal with that rook very easily. So, okay, not really an option. Yeah, c5 they like to answer with d5, and that'll be important when I talk about the Graf Benko later. that, you know, this is what they like to do. If that option's not there, then we're really challenging the center quite successfully. So my opponent plays bishop b2, which is a totally sensible move. But now here comes some trades. So c takes d4. We're asking some interesting questions here, right? How do you want to recapture on d4, for one? You don't have knight takes d4, right? Because my bishop is doing a great job on that piece. Queen takes d4 just gives me knight c6 with tempo. And similarly, bishop takes d4 also gave me knight c6 with tempo. They don't want to allow this trade over here. There's a lot of light square pawns. And losing the dark square bishop would mean you're not controlling half the squares in your own camp. So bishop b2 is played. And now here comes pawn takes c4, pawn takes c4. So you'll notice now that I was able to make a couple achievements in this opening, right? Number one, okay, I played knight c6 with tempo. I made that bishop move like a few times, right? So I played c takes d4 at an opportune time. Knight takes d4 would have been like nicer recapture, but I didn't allow that to happen. I timed that part correctly. The other thing I did is that pawn stands all alone. All alone, and so does that pawn, which also stands all alone. Technically a6, but I don't know how you're going to attack it. And this is going to be my new focus, right? The other thing is about weak pawns. How do you know if a pawn is weak or if a pawn is a strength? The trick is whether it can advance, right? So sometimes, like, you see like a pawn, it could even be a pass pawn, and you might say, and someone might say, oh, that's a weak pawn. The trick is whether that pawn, like pawns are dangerous if they can keep going forward. If they can keep going forward, right, they get closer and closer to, right, promoting. That's the danger in them. So it depends who controls the square in front of the pawn, is what I'm trying to say, right? If I control the square in front of the pawn and I can blockade it there, then I can keep, like, putting my knight on a5, putting my rook on c8, putting my bishop on a6, whatever it takes to win that pawn, I can keep doing it. But if I put my knight on a5 and they can just play c5 whenever they feel like it, then I'm not really able to put pressure on this pawn, right? And c5 whenever they feel like it, okay, that could also make d7 a weak point. So for that reason, this dark square bishop is very dangerous to me. And it can also kind of hop around a lot in my position. It's streaking down this diagonal, which is where my king's going to go, and there's a lot of potential holes in my position. So the dark square bishop, I feel, is a little dangerous to me. So I start here with knight to a5, which it wasn't really like a super great move, I would say, because knight d2 is a pretty nice development move. It's what they wanted to play anyway, and defend c4, so I didn't really cause a significant inconvenience to them. But now I follow it up with rook c8, and yeah, here is where I said during the game that they should get creative, right? So I'm attacking c4, and I'm not really sure that, yeah, I don't think I want to take it because I'm kind of, yeah, haven't moved this stuff out during the game, and they can actually sacrifice a pawn here and maybe have some good compensation by just castling their king and ignoring that. Or something like rook b1, yeah, using the fact that they can take and maybe take b7 if my knight moves away. Right, so I'm really, really going for it, but my opponent hasn't played like super unprinciply or anything, and it's tough to really go for it when my king is still in the middle of the board. But they play rook c1, just kind of acquiescing to just okay, knight d2, rook c1, I'll just continue to defend c4. And now we come out queen b6, and yeah, again, this rook should have came back to b1 and looked to cause problems against me. In the game, instead, my opponent plays bishop to d4, as I attack this bishop on b2, and now I'm able to play bishop c5, not moving it twice, just moving it the one time, and we're able to make this trade here. And now in the resulting position, without the dark square bishops, the position becomes really, really pretty for black. Really, really pretty for black, because I have no concerns in my position. There's nothing white can attack. There's nothing really they can do to me. Everybody's defended. What I'm going to do, slowly, is attack c4, attack a2. These guys are stuck where they are, right? So it's exactly what you saw during the game. My queen came to a3, pressuring there, and continuing to tie them down. Rook c7, rook c8, pressure there, build. And this bishop on g2 is not doing a great job. And in fact, this knight was never moving because my opponent just didn't want to trade that bishop. So you saw your knight b3, and importantly, not knight takes b3. Right, knight takes b3 would have just completely solved the position for white, because after a takes b3, the pawns defend each other. And when pawns defend each other, it makes a huge difference. I didn't really touch on this before, but pawns defending pawns is a huge difference, because, right, if I have like a bunch of pieces attacking here, it actually doesn't matter. Like this rook can be anywhere, right? Let's even say I do this, right? I put everybody on c4. It doesn't matter how many dudes I attack c4 with if just one pawn defends it, right? So whereas if no pawns defend it, then yeah, you got to keep tying down a knight to defend it, or a rook to defend it, like important pieces rather than just a pawn worth of material that can designate to that task. So that's why it's important to make the pawn be alone, unable to be defended by a fellow pawn. That's why it's a significant distinction, is because, yeah, if you want to keep tying yourself down and holding it, right, like I said, my opponent shouldn't have just tied themselves down. This rook was too valuable to just sit defending c4. It should have cause problems on the b file instead. But if you're just going to keep tying yourself down, that can cause problems. So knight b3, queen to a3 was played, not giving them the option for a takes b3. And after these dudes trade off, you can see that they're in a situation where these pawns are not moving, not going anywhere, and they're just going to sit there for my pieces to target. They are quite literally target practice here. Queen b3 and just the very simple rook c7 to defend the b7 bishop. And now here's rook d1 and rook c8. So, right, the reason why rook c7, rook c8 just lends itself so obviously, I mean, there's like a lot of options black has in this position. This knight can hop around, right? Like potentially the c5 square looks pretty. A lot of things look pretty here. But look at your worst piece. When in any doubt, make sure you have all your pieces in the game. And so I'm looking at this. Where does he want to go? Obviously, it's c8. Let's keep putting pressure right there. And so this is kind of a situation where, like, weak pawns in general aren't, like, the most important thing in the world, right? Like nobody cares about your pawn structure if you're getting checkmated or vice versa, right? However, we're talking about a position where both kings are totally safe. Where both kings are totally safe and there haven't been, like, crazy tactics and pieces hanging, right? So in that situation, if, like, obviously crazy tactics, pieces hanging, unsafe kings are way more important. But if that stuff isn't there, then this is what decides the game. This is what decides the game. Having the activity still, whether it's just the activity is not aimed at the king. The activity is aimed at weak pawns in the enemy position. And those weak pawns are ones that are not defended by fellow pawns. And so you see their queen, their rook continue to have to be tied down to these dudes. So here queen b1 was played, trying to defend the c1 rook. Because, or else I was going to play like d5, take advantage of the pin, right? I have two rooks attacking there. And now it's just very simple, like bishop e4. My bishop was not in a great spot. It was an obligation for this rook to defend it instead of doing stuff. So bishop e4, queen b2, and just, yeah, this very simple move h6. Like, yeah, I can try to win this pawn right away, but first of all, it doesn't work. Everybody would get taken. And then just queen b8, so I would lose the game. So yeah, it's very helpful to have that luft right there. You don't even have to calculate lines so much here, because there's nothing really critical white can do to me. Simple h6 in the game. And yeah, knight d2, probably better to stay passive, because the knight on e5, I understand the idea, trying to maybe like counterattack on d7, right, because they're trying to defend c4. However, the knight on e5 became a liability, as you'll see in the game. Knight on d2 could have, yeah, not obvious how I win material here. Like d5, I think, yeah, the point is knight b3, attacking the queen, and then they can push c5. So that would really change everything. That would really change everything. Then that pawn could potentially become a passed pawn. So I would have to be careful there, because they have this idea of playing knight b3 and c5, which is why they're recommending actually to move the queen, so that the pawn can't make it to c5 so easily. In the game, knight e5 was played, and we just swap off for those bishops, and now I'm taking advantage of the immediate idea in this position of the king being on g2, and that's why here d5 works so well. d5 attacking c4, so I just want to take it for free, and we've got a lot of pressure on these rooks. Why is that important? Well, if c takes d5, I take, and now I'm going to take here with check. Importantly, this is check, because the king's on g2, we just brought it there. If something like, well, if you don't go knight f3, then I'm going to take here and take your knight, distracting the queen from its important defense on e5. Otherwise, knight f3, and all I was looking at during the game was actually just taking and taking a2, which is enough to win, because this extra pawn is a pass pawn, and it's going to be very, very, very strong. And my king has no concerns at the immediate moment. There's not going to be any really issues or risks of perpetual check. There's really not a lot they can do to me in this position, and this pawn's just going to roll. This pawn's going to roll if you can't get to my king and continue to check me. So c takes d5 was not an option for them, and that's going to be pretty brutal, because d5 is just attacking this and trying to win it. So in the game, f3 was played. It's kind of hard to recommend something, so they were recommending here c5. Yeah, just to lose the pawn in a way that doesn't create a pass pawn, right? So this pawn stays on d5, so just losing it keeps better drawing chances for white on the table here. But yeah, slowly here. So f3, we take c4, and then, yeah, in the game here, okay, I just take some more dudes. We were very low on time, but at least it was like an increment game, so it wasn't like total nonsense. But yeah, there wasn't really a lot white could do here. They had nothing to counterattack in my position. As I just ate their queen and ate on e1 and promoted. So really lovely game. Let me touch on why we play a6, and it really has nothing to do with the Catalan, although this will now be what we play in the repertoire against the Catalans. But let's talk about what we're really looking for with a6 here. And to be clear, there's a lot you can make useful with this. Like, let's say here my opponent didn't play g3. Let's say here they played like e3, and again, when they play ac3, that's when we hit them with the fun b5 stuff. But here, yeah, d5, and the idea of taking And then following that up with b5, attacking the bishop, and then playing bishop b7 can be really fun. So a6 becomes very useful in that regard. And so often they'll like take it so that the bishop, like for example, if they moved this dude, then taking it, right? We made that bishop move twice. That's really cool. And we target it again, bishop b7, c5. Fun stuff here. And our bishop actually operates really, really nicely in spite of not being able to use this diagonal. What a6 can often do then, because they don't want to deal with having that bishop be distracted, it can often bait them into playing c takes d5. And then now we have this nice diagonal for the bishop without that pawn on e6. So the a6 move is useful really in every line. It's hard for white to play anything where a6 is actually not useful, because e6 d5, the same dichotomy of challenging that guy happens. And if they put the bishop on g2, then yeah, let's play with b5 Catalan. Okay, but let's talk about by far the most common move in this position, which is knight c3, right? By far the most common move here at 68%, knight c3. The point here, this is a wagon gambit, as recommended by Jonathan Schrantz here of playing like this with e5. This can be a lot of fun. Takes knight e4. This is totally a lot of fun. I do think there's a lot of ways for white to go wrong, but I do think, yeah, if they play knight f3 and then just shield this check on d2 and play e3, bishop e2 castles, there's not a lot they can do to go wrong. They're going to be able to get out of the center. Not that that's the absolute best way to play, but it is an option for them. I like lines where it becomes really, really tricky for them to follow the engine's recommendations. And so that's here with c5, challenging. And what we do is we actually get a banco. There's a lot of ways that white can mess this up. We get a banco as they take, right? This is very difficult to decline. It's very difficult to decline. Like, you can't just defend that very easily. You know, this would be white's dream, but you can't just defend that very easily because we're going to push b4 and distract that knight away. So with the pawn on b5 here, what is going to happen is they're going to have to take it. And now once they do that, there's a lot of ways that this can be a lot of fun. For example, here, let's say d6 is a fun option. This is all covered in the original Graf Banco video, but we can go check. That is not defended. Knight c3, and then once we play here knight e4, attacking d6, we can actually take d6 really in style with this move rook a6, which I absolutely love. Is one of my favorite lines. Just one of my favorite moves in general, because they have absolutely no development there. The bishop doesn't control a6, and rook takes d6, and we're just doing phenomenally. Another way people often go wrong is takes, and in general, like if they do something normal, we're going to play d5. We're going to have a lot of fun with, you know, the pawns can just roll in the middle of the board. Knight d6 check is another common mistake, and it's a mistake because the knight comes to e4 really, really, really nicely, attacking the queen, defending c5, and, you know, for example here, like queen e5, you can lose right away, doing to check. Nobody guards d2. The queen should have been there to guard d2, but otherwise, okay, here, and we win the game. No way to shield that diagonal. So a lot of really fun options here. This is all covered in the original video on my channel. This is why we play a6 primarily. Got a pretty good score with this. If I do say so myself. Yeah, here, so knight f3, trying to transpose out of it. But you see most people are playing into this with knight c3. But now we have a good option, and one of just a high quality chess game. I mean, you're kind of on the wrong channel if you're looking for that, but I don't know. I still got it. Thanks, guys. Subscribe. Play 2a6 in the Graf Banco Gambit. Hi, William. I have an opening I would really love for you to analyze or try. It comes from the Bushgas Gambit decline, where after 3 bishop c4, knight f6, d3, black plays d5, ex d5, c6, with the idea knight takes c6. That seems appealing. Bishop c4, knight f6, d3, d5, take c6. I'll have to look into that. Oh, my opponent berserked against me. Alright, I promised... What did I promise here? What did you guys want against the French? Let's play... This is a fun one, right? The, oh. Okay. Let's still focus on the main ideas here. What is this? Boom, boom. What do we got? I take it. I'll play your g3. Keeping the knight out of there. I don't know. I don't know where else my bishop was going. d4. How rude. Okay. Mean. Alright, let's gambit it. Takes knight f3. Seems fun. Oh, alas. Alright. This seems like what you want out of the King's Indian, right? Although my bishop is misplaced. I'll just reroute him. castles. You want a castle too? I'll play g4 and g5. I'll checkmate you. Ooh, I'll play like f6. Boom, boom, boom. f6 seems fun. f6 takes. Okay, I'll prepare f6. Hey, don't do that. Oh. I'm so funny. We gotta move. Wasn't like super smart. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that either. Ah, they got me. Oh, no. Oh, wait, this will be sad if I flag them. They play better than me. Okay. Wait, what? I mean, they played better than me. They literally had checkmate in 1. The bishop was here. Queen takes h2. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really break through that game. Didn't really break through. Yeah, I was trying to play... I mean, typically they play d takes e4, and then I play queen e2 and a c3, and it makes some degree of sense. Castles long, I play g4, g5 to attack their knight. What are my thoughts on the double abstinence? What is that? Tell me the moves. He did play really well, yeah. It's kind of unfortunate. I didn't deserve to win that game. Didn't deserve. But I've lost games that I've deserved to win, so I don't know what deserved means in chess. Okay, I promised a Latvian and I promised an elephant. I might get to play neither of those. What can you do? Alright, well this is what I typically play against, like, Vienna setups. Mustard on the beat, bro. Go for the pin. Doesn't make much sense. If they castle, and then I go for the pin. Here could be more sensible if they play bishop. Yeah. Well. Okay. I want them to castle, and then I want to play g5. There's no way... I mean, there's no other spot this king can go to. Right, there's just nowhere else. So... But yet, it makes it a little trickier. Makes it a little trickier if the king's on e1 when I launch this. Okay, let's play g5 though, and just bishop g4 to follow. Bishop needs a spot. Nothing wrong with h5, but h4 it's not obvious what to do somehow. That's what I was saying. It would be easier if I didn't have to contend with things that rook can do. h4 here I have castles long. not a bad setup they have. Putting pressure here. H5 now. Knight takes G5. If I castle, do they want it? Maybe. Trying to play H5, although I don't think it's so smart. Honestly, A5 myself so that I can answer B5. Okay, wait. This, I will take it. I mean, right? Now I want to open the center, because that's where their king is trying to stay. I understand this can be dangerous. I do, I get that. But D5 is hard to achieve. This feels more possible. Somehow to play it with H5. So I need bishop takes E3 in all cases. The knight's gonna be too strong on F5. This is what I was trying to do. Whoa. No way. No way. No chance. Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess they could still take it, but pressure here is difficult to relieve. Yet, I'm just gonna sacrifice it. My concern is queen e6 actually can trade queens. I could just take it. Wow, my opponent is very good. Okay. G8. Do I have this? Take C3 and rook G8? No, they'll have rook F2, right? Just rook F2, they're fine? Damn. This dude is good. Yeah, rook F2, I lose. Oh. I want like check king d1 and check, so there's no rook f1. No, not smart. Well, here is kind of my idea. Their queen guards everything though. Don't have any invasion. Rook e1 is fine for them. Oh. Again, they played so well. They had me. No, they totally had me. Just Rook e1 last turn. Oh, that's better for me than I thought. Oh, but yeah, Rook e1 last turn. Rook e1, huge advantage for white. Yeah, the queen guards everything around here. No, they should have been fine. And then here, I think simplest was, yeah, Rook f2. I missed something here. G3. But yeah, I really went for it. Something went wrong. I guess I was really trying to forced the issue, and I probably should have just, like, done something normal, because their position really wasn't so bad, but I was trying to really get them. Okay, double abstinence. Tell me what moves. Yeah, I got away with that. I really got away with that one. All right. Okay, I promised a Latvian and an elephant. Let's do the elephant. Not really sure. I know there's like a e4 here. Okay, takes. Can I play maybe this move? Try and force. Didn't want any of my gambits. No gambits. None? You really just want a dead equal position? Sigh. I mean, it's literally symmetrical. It's probably a mass move. I'll try and do something. Oh, just bishop c4. I just hung that. I gotta deal with this now. I'll go here or something. I'll make it work. I'm tricky. Yeah, I try. I can just castle to defend them, then, you know, poses no inconvenience. I mean, I still like white's position here. I really forced this with d takes e4. I think knight takes made a lot more sense. This is hard to protect. Yeah, I really tried. I tried for the elephant, man. Do you want this? Oh, they do? Really? Step on the beat, bro. If they take it, I have pawn takes f6, winning the knight. Should be fun. Otherwise, yeah, I'm probably just getting this back. Have some ideas of, like, check, hit the knight, some follow-up, I don't know. But yeah, I can't really go rook e8 because then anything would have traded queens here, so I have to get my queen off of that. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Who said this game wasn't fun? Who said this game wasn't fun and or interesting? What about check g3 f6? I don't really want to do anything that gives that with tempo, though. But that is all my f6 ideas. Give that with tempo. Take, pawn takes, check, knight back, like c5 somehow. Mustard on the beat, bro. c5, knight takes, bishop e5, fe5, check. Okay. Seems fun. Alright, let's go takes. So if d takes, I'm checking here. If f takes, I'm checking here. Both of them make the knight retreat in some way or the other. Kind of a funny position, like perfect symmetry. Have the option to do one or the other. Okay, that makes sense. Check. But now I can take f4 at minimum. I never gave bishop c4. Like, I loved f6 as an option, like trading these things, opening the stuff. I never wanted to give bishop c4 with tempo. I mean, like yum. Like, come on. But why would I trade pawns when I can just win them for free, for nothing? I could take b2 here. How would you deal with that? Like, what would you play? What would you play? You would move your knight again. Like, again. Can't move the queen. The rook's hanging. Like, taking f4, yeah, I could just win some pawns, but then you'd maybe escape. What if I made this as difficult as possible for you? Okay, move your knight again. So, knight a4, I'll go check, c3, then I'll take it. Otherwise, like, I want to chase you away so I can go queen c3 check, because you can't go queen d2, because I will take your rook, right? So... Lost it on the beat, bro. G6. Wait, I can do this, yeah? Knight c7, I have to take that. Rook b1, take. Knight c7, check. Yum. Otherwise, take. Wow, I'm pretty smart. Even when I'm exhausted. Somehow I made like the most boring, mundane option that my opponent tried to play into like a total disaster for him. I have check and take f4. I have check and make the king move. But okay, I'll allow queen d2. The other one stopped queen d2 because of the pressure there. f6 was a good move last turn, obviously. So was just knight c6 and anything else. We're okay on the time because it's increment, +2. Now I'm coming back to take f4 in a very similar position to last time, except this is now much less appealing. There's no pawn on b2. In fact, I'll take it and checkmate you on a1 if your king's over there. So try to get it out that way. See if you can. I probably made it... Yeah, I don't know. It's not that easy. Okay, good luck. Escape. I should have, yeah, maybe played knight c6 before. I would have had some other ideas. But what do they got here? Queen f2. Okay, I mean, I can win it. Oh, no. The dream is dead. Can't castle anymore. Move the rook in the way. Don't castle that way either. Queen a1 will meet you. Oh, no. You're not even going to get your king to g1. You're not even going to get there. You're not going to get h7 either. That comes with a check. Oh, this is sad. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I kind of feel badly. I just took all your pawns with my queen. How did that happen? I just took so many pawns. I'll take more. Oh, yum. Man, this queen is a wrecking ball, bro. What do we got? I check. No. Don't do that, please. I thought I had something here. Maybe not. Okay. Oh, it's check. I thought I had rook e1 to win the game. Okay, wait, now I have rook e1 to end the game. Alright, fittingly, comes with the queen. King f2, there's queen e3. Dude, that was interesting. The end was very sloppy. I mean, we were just moving around it with +2 increment. But okay, my first elephant gambit was very non-elephanty. It was very non-elephanty, but it was... Somehow we channeled the spirit of the opening. So d5, the point of the elephant gambit is that they, like, accept it. And in this position, we can play e4, attacking the knight, and the best line is here with queen e2, so that if you play queen e7 to, you know, well, if you do anything else, they will attack this pawn. I know there's some line here with, like, check and still trying to sacrifice, like, another pawn or something. Usually white should be fine if they just kind of play knight e2. It's kind of the best way to play against it. But yeah, they should play queen e2 so that, you're right, if you defend the pawn any other way than d3, they'll keep attacking the pinned piece, right? So the best way to do it is queen e7 to immediately break the pin, counterattack the knight. The point is, though, that the queen's no longer on d8, so it can't just, like, recapture here really nicely. So that's why putting the queens there is to white's advantage. But okay, there's some fun stuff here. I know also, like, a line is with knight f6, and so now that I'm saying that, knight f6 here, now, like, come on, what else are you going to do with that pawn, other than taking here? Now, like, queen takes d5, okay, there's some compensation here, this can be fun. Looks a little Bush-Gas-esque if they play knight f3. I guess d4 would be a better move. But I feel like I've seen this on Schrantz's channel or something. Now with this trade, pressure on g2, so it's not all obvious how you develop if you're white here. Whereas here, black's going to castle, bring out their bishops, rooks come to the middle. So it actually seems like a pretty fun gambit. I was looking for a lot of chances to don the gambit glasses. My opponent just playing like d4 and just asking me to play like here this dead equal position instead of a lot of things that would have given them a plus. I tried, yeah, d takes e4 was really a stretch. From dead equal to like +1. This should have been good for white for a number of reasons. Not the least of which was just bishop c4, which should be the most obvious move in the position. Just attacking f7. And with the hit on f7 here, this is very difficult to defend. Knight d5 is really awkward positioning for the knight. Like for example, they can just make that move and just take it. Or like attack e4 is a lot of things that could go wrong here with pressure on all my late squares. Yeah, d takes e4 was not a good move. So yeah, I really had to just do this, which is like a little ugly, right? And now that knight is really going to stay there forever. No pawn will ever attack it. And now that f6 is off the table forever. In the game, bishop g5 was played, which is, I guess is fine. It just doesn't really take advantage of my stuff. And now I'm playing castles, and now my opponent got really greedy here, because I guess they're like, damn, I did want pawns. Like at least for them, you can say they didn't want to accept the gambits. Like they're not a greedy player. They're a gambit chad themselves, something like that. But now here, like all that goes out the window. When in this position, you're gonna take my knight to grab this pawn. Really? Now you've gotten a knight shish kebab on the e-file with your king still there, 2 moves from castling. Like, the engine says it's okay because, yeah, I mean, there was no immediate way to punish this. But it's really testy. I mean, much more sensible would have just been, like, just bring this out, castles. And then once your king is safe, yeah, you can go for that weak pawn. That pawn's probably going to be weak for a long time. Honestly, I really like white's position much more than mine. And the game takes f6, bishop takes f6, knight takes e4, and we start with queen e7. Why not? So anytime we're going to take e5, we don't want to trade queens. So let's get the queen off of that. And knight takes f6 wasn't an option yet. G takes f6 wins the knight on the spot. So as long as that's an option, that's what I'd be going with. And again, in this position, I thought what would happen was just bishop e2, breaking the pin, developing. Now knight takes f6 is an option, right? I'm not gonna want to play pawn takes f6 here if the knight can move away. So here I kind of thought I was just gonna takes, knight comes to c3, and next move they should be able to castle without any issue, because I don't have, like, if I had a lot of developed pieces and I could play like knight d4 and rook e8 and bishop g4 and really pressure the pinned piece, yeah, this would be great. That's not there, and they should be able to castle in again a dead equal position. But they really went for it, and suddenly a switch totally turned in my opponent's head, and they're like, pawns are everything, let me hold that knight. So there's like a few interesting options here. Obviously, like, the best thing to achieve if you're black is, like, this knight stands in the way of everything. If I can just play f6, make that move, look at all those juicy targets on the other side of that. So, like, the first thing that came to mind for me was, like, just check and just try and play f6 as soon as possible. The issue, like, and this would be really fun, right? So, like, takes, and then all of a sudden, right, I'm not sure you want to take that back because queen takes h4 check is coming. That was an even trade. I didn't even sacrifice anything to make that happen. I guess there's, like, bishop c4 check, and I just didn't like that. Just the idea of giving them that check, but this still could have been good. Yeah, okay, this was probably my best option. King h8, castles, takes e5. Oh, just f takes e5. Maybe this, yeah, maybe my bishop's trapped. My bishop is trapped. My bishop is trapped because of the mate threat on f8. My rook is not in the game. If my pieces were developed, I would not have that issue. But with the mate threat on f8, I can't move my bishop anywhere. Wow, but that, I mean, that's hard stuff to see. So f takes e5 here. I can't save my bishop. Interesting line. But otherwise, that could have been good. I didn't want to give them that, right? Bishop c4 castles suddenly really turns the table. Their king is safe, and they're causing problems for me down that f line. Achieving f6 is tough. So I went with the other option here, which is bishop takes e5, and just kind of posing difficult questions. Give your opponent options, and sometimes they'll choose the wrong one. Here I gave them an option. They thought for a while, and they chose the wrong one. They chose d takes e5. Better was f takes e5. I understand that giving queen h4 check is an intimidating spot for the queen, but my queen ended up doing way more damage than that in the game. Here comes queen h4 check, and right, notice how all the options that I'm thinking about are about striking quickly, right? Like, I could just play, like, okay, knight c6, like, it's fine, but then they'll play, like, queen d2, they'll get their king out of the middle fast, right? Okay, like, I mean, developing pieces is never going to be a mistake, but I'm trying to strike quickly before they're getting a chance to bring these guys out. So in the game here, I'm playing with bishop takes e5. They play with if they play with f takes e5, then queen h4 check. This is my point. There's no pawn on f4, so there's no g3 option here because your knight is hanging. So this knight should retreat somewhere, like an f2. Knight g3, I thought was also... Yeah, my idea was going to be c5. In fact, I was thinking about c5 in this position, but I thought potentially knight takes c5. So here, yeah, we got to keep striking. We got to keep striking, right? If we give him a couple moves, we're just going to be down a pawn. So c5, got to keep chipping away right there. So for example, d takes c5. Okay, it's like queen b4 check, eating these guys, or e8. All these moves to keep bringing out these pieces and keep causing problems. Trying to make sure their next couple moves can't be bishop e2 and castles, right? That's how I'm thinking about every move. Can their next move just be what they want to do? Bishop e2, castles. Can they get one move closer to achieving what they want? I'm trying to make sure the answer to that is no. Queen each? No, that's not an option. But, yeah, so c5 really makes sure bishop e2 isn't their next move. So c3, gotta play like another move that makes sure like bishop e2 can't just be their next move, right? So continue to put all that pressure. Apparently that was a better option for them, and it makes a lot of sense because d takes e5, now queen b4 check, right? Is very different here. Just g3 can parry me away because I can't take the knight. This pawn's in the way of taking the knight. But now queen b4 check, this pawn's not in the way of me taking that knight, and this looks much worse for them, right? Their knight's got to go back. Apparently queen takes b2 wasn't the best. They wanted me to take f4. But the thing is, if I took f4, right, then kind of all my fun goes away. I was thinking about this, and I take e5, they play bishop e2, and their next move is going to be castles. I didn't want to allow that. Here, like, okay, of course, like, I'm up a pawn, but they got their king to safety. I didn't want to let them. I'm just looking at what does my opponent want to do, and just making sure they can't do that. That's kind of how I like to play chess, right? Really take advantage of how fallible humans are. So queen takes b2. Okay, they had one really precise move, knight b5, but I'm willing to bet that almost every move is bad. Let's look at 2. Yeah, so a big difference between the best move and the second best move here. It's tough. Got to be very precise here. Knight b5 better than knight d5. I guess knight d5, I had this nice move bishop e6, which is what I played. It's tough because I'm attacking this rook, right? You can play queen d2 if you were castled. If you were castled, then the rook would defend the other rook. And then my queen is actually in hot water, right? She can actually, like, get trapped there. Like, imagine knight b5 and, like, rook fb1. Then my queen is totally out of squares, with the knight controlling a3, right? So, but that's not an option here. The rook's just hanging. So now we're attacking this, and we're forcing them to move this knight again, and still, like, okay, I like this move because they can't move one of the pieces that they want to move to actually get their king to safety. So it continues the fun. So knight d5, and I play bishop e6, which actually happens to work out really, really nicely for me. Because, A, we finally developed another piece, right? I've been attacking with just the queen for a while. There's only so much she can do on her own. Although, as we learned in this game, there is so much she can do on her own. Knight takes c7 is not an option. It would win my rook, but there's queen c3 check and winning the knight that's there. And likewise, including rook b1, queen takes a2, we attack the knight. Still no knight takes c7 because the king is very vulnerable, and I have lots and lots of fun with all the checks that I can give on that king. Anytime the knight lands on e7, it's just one check, and we should be able to clean that knight up. I don't think that poor knight is going to last very long, so far deep into enemy territory. So bishop e6 works really nicely for me. Otherwise, yeah, I want to take it and take the rook. Just take advantage of the fact that this queen is split. So in the game here, knight e3 was played, just trying to get the knight out of harm's way. But again, this is just so many moves with that poor knight. We play your queen b4 check, queen d2, queen takes f4, and now we have, right, this is what I was saying, we have the same position. Like, remember, like, I could have had this position, and it looks very similar, except the knight was here, the queen was here, the bishop was there. Oh, and one other key difference, the pawn on b2 was gone. So castling here was not an option. Right here, castling was an option, and okay, it could just be up a pawn. But the way I did it by posing practical problems to my opponent, was... Haven't I said that a lot, and I just realized that? Posing practical problems to my opponent? Bishop e6, knight e3, queen b4 check. As much as we love alliterations, what I love even more is the fact that now, like, here, we get this position, right, where, let's look at this position, for instance. If I'm attacking the rook, right, I was talking about this during the game, and if they castle, there's no pawn on b2, this is checkmate in 1. So I took away their long castling option, and here, yeah, so I go check, I eat f4, I play an c6, right, because, yeah, I could just eat e5, but then I'd give them castling, and I'd only be up 2 pawns for nothing. Instead, I played an c6, continuing to cut their castle, and so finally they acquiesce and just play rook f1, not castling, because it was illegal last turn. Rook f1, so I just take this, attacking the rook, so they got to move that, and they're so close to being able to play king g1. If I just do something, they can play king g1, and at least they have a castle manually that they were able to do. but we're able to continue to make that impossible. Queen takes h2, rook h1, looks like it might get me on h7, which would be actually really bad, but I have here queen to f4 check, and king g1, and this is what I was saying during the game. Somehow, we go all the way back. Like, look at this position, they just have these 3 pawns left. Where we started was here, with lots of pawns for my opponent. In fact, an extra one on the board, as they, you know, greedily tried to take f6, e4, and play f4. Somehow, they got down to just this, and this. Everything that was on a dark square went away. My queen just went around and ate all of them, just staying on dark squares, checking that poor king. We took that, check, take, yum, 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 yum. Okay, and then here we were just kind of moving around. This was just kind of nonsense. We both blundered pieces. Okay, eventually we had a nice little pattern here of rook to e1. Yeah, the rook being buried there really sucks. Like, okay, if you had castled, then that wouldn't be an option. Okay, I might have rook e2 to threaten me, but the rook being buried there really sucks. It's completely out of the game. Yeah, rook e1 and checkmate. So, fun game there. In my first elephant gambit, it wasn't really an elephant, but we were able to get kind of the spirit of that line by playing chess how we always love to play chess, not letting our opponent castle. Subscribe if that's on YouTube. What's up? I want to reverse yourself. Yeah, exactly. Hey, I was there at one of my recent OTB tournaments, and I learned a lot from spectating you. Aw, that's really nice. I'm not sure I played that well, actually, at my last OTB tournaments, but I'm very glad to hear that. Yeah, I mean, these same principles that I talk about here, I try to apply in my games, although, you know, obviously it's a little different when you're playing, like, total players with 2 hours on their clock. But, yeah. Next time, come up to me. I'm very happy to talk to all of you. Okay. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate where I covered the absence accepted. I have not, actually. I would recommend just checking out Highly Cruciferous' study. I missed a lot of comments here. Are non-gambit suggestions allowed? Yeah. They are. I do feel as though I'm kind of fading a little bit. It's not really super fair to you guys that my chess will deteriorate as a result. But this has been some really fun games. Thank you all for joining. And make sure to subscribe. You're right here on the YouTube channel. You're right here. Follow me for more gambits and for more chess boxing content. I meant to talk about that a little bit more, but my games and everything else distracted me a little bit. But I appreciate y'all. I really do. And subscribe. Join the Discord. You can see here, if you click on my YouTube channel, go to the link tree where you can see the whole Gambit repertoire. Right, this link tree right here. Link dr.ee/wgrafe. And right here, these are all the gambits. You can see, you know, if you don't have something against, say, I don't know, the London, click on that bad boy, get a full repertoire breakdown of it. And yeah, wow, look at me. Yeah, and it's also the full playlist of my games and everything in that. To learn how to play that, and also join this awesome Discord community, guys. Love the Discord, where we share games and everything, talk about opening ideas, talk to each other, make friends, look for games, talk about all chess things and non-chess things. Alright, appreciate y'all. Have a great